Hey, everybody, welcome back to another conversation 50 conversations with 50 strangers. In all truth, I have to tell you, I wasn't sure this one was going to happen. This lovely person in front of me, I initially liked right from the start. I think she was introduced to me by a friend of hers who was on the show as also a stranger.
Mhm.
Her name was also similar to mine. Her name was Danny. And
Yes.
so I can always remember that. Um, and Linda came through Danny, and so I liked Danny. I liked Linda, but somehow we had some, miscommunications. Timings didn't quite work out, and sometimes I think in life, when things are too hard, they're just not meant to be. So you just let them go. I never meant to hurt Linda's feelings. Maybe I hurt her feelings when I said I think I'm going to pull out and not do it, and she said, "Are you sure you just don't want to reschedule?" And so I, in the image of how I look, tried to put the fear of God in her and say, if you don't show up this time, I'm going to be like, don't disappoint me this time. We made the appointment. And here she is. She came, not only did she show up, she came early. We worked through some sound glitches, and we're here.
Mhm.
So it is happening. So without further ado, because I hate to have it be a monologue right from the start, I want to thank you all for coming. And I want to introduce you to Linda.
Mhm.
Linda, since I don't know anything about you, would you be kind enough to share with people who you are and what's important to you? Who are you?
Uh, I am Linda, and I am based in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. I am 23 years young. I am really, really passionate about spiritual and self-development, so much so that I feel like I don't really get along with my peers the same age as me growing up. I'm super passionate about health, diet, and wellness. And that is something that I really want to change people's lives with. I am an ESFJ. ESFJ. Yes, I'm an ESFJ on the Myers-Briggs personalities test. I'm an Enneagram type 2, wing 3. So the helper, wing, achiever. What else do I know? Apparently, I'm a life path 4. I just found that out. What else do I know? Apparently, I am a projector in the human design. And I love personality tests, so obviously. I do yoga. I've been doing yoga for about 10, 15 years. And fitness and performing arts, which is what I majored in. I majored in acting, has really changed my life. I love singing, I love dancing, and I love acting. And I
Uh,
love winter.
and you love, what was the last thing?
I love winter.
Winter. Yes, in
Winter and
Ontario.
fall.
In Ontario, you would have to like that winter, right?
You do. Although I'm in southern Ontario, so the winters are pretty mild, I want to say. If you really want the whole snowstorm thing, I would go a little bit more north.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Um, what makes you happy?
Making other people happy.
Okay. But what makes you happy? Like now
Well,
you made other people happy. What makes you happy?
I feel like what makes me happy is when I'm able to bring joy to somebody else, honestly. When I get a compliment, it makes me feel really good. And usually that compliment is, hey, you really made my day today because you did when you said this. And you really inspired me to change my life for the better, to start this or to follow my dreams, things like that. I'm a words of affirmation type of person. So really making other people happy and hearing how much I'm able to make an impact on their life is really the biggest thing. I just
What
love that connection.
What a beautiful answer. Now I'm going to push you just a tiny little bit. Imagine if the world had nobody else in it but yourself. Would you be unhappy or happy?
Can humans really live in isolation though?
Maybe. I'm
Um, I think what would make me happy is being really peaceful and at ease with myself
okay.
and feeling a connection to self-love and to source energy.
Love it. So did you see a slight shift in where you went right there?
I felt it a little bit.
Okay, nice. Um, If money weren't important, what would you do with your life?
Money weren't important. I would travel the world and learn about different cultures, learn about different cultures, learn new things. Like, I don't know, how to make a dream weaver, which is my universe sign. I would, I would just travel and meet people and learn about their culture.
Can I circle back to something you said? And you feel I didn't say this in the green room, but you have every right in the world to say I don't really want to answer that, or I don't want to talk about it, or this is your time, okay?
Okay.
What strikes me in our conversation is how much connection is important to you,
Yes,
and
absolutely.
how much doing things to make other people happy is important to you. Not because you do it to make them happy, but when you do what you do and they're happy, that makes you happy, and it feels really good, right?
Yeah, yeah, I
Are
love
you
that.
are you old enough to know what an overhead projector is?
Yes.
Okay. I want you to take that statement as your first piece of plastic on your overhead projector and put it on your overhead projector and see how beautiful that image looks. And now I want to take a statement that we sort of glossed over because it was easy to gloss over because of the pain that could be involved in it,
Mhm.
which is I'm really different than most of the people my age, and I don't really know how to get along with people my age. I don't share that much in common with them. And I want you to put that on the second piece of plastic paper on your overhead projector. And I want you to tell me what the image looks like there.
It looks blurred. It's almost as if the second image is um, tainting the hue of the outlines in the first image. It's there's a cognitive dissonance. There's a dissonance in the image, and it's blurry. Uh, and it like you could still make out the image, I want to say, but it's almost like somebody were trying to connect the dots, those connect the dot puzzles, and they did a poor job. So they went from like 1 to 3 to 5 to 10, and then back to 2. So it's kind of a cat's cradle.
So, would there be any way that you could pick the second picture up, which is the one of I don't know, I don't have much in common with people my age. Is there anything you could do to adjust that picture that would distort the first picture a little bit less?
Shift it a little bit to the left or to the right, or create a new one.
How would that look?
Um, what do you mean by how would that look?
How would the shift look, or how would the new picture you create look?
Well, it would be in congruence with the first one, and it would map like two hands were meant to fit together.
Would that be something that would interest you in doing?
Yeah, I don't see why not.
Can you mentally do that right now and tell me what the second image looks like now? In other words, how would the statement read? How would the statement change from I'm 23 years old, I'm a very spiritual person. I believe connection is important. Serving other people is what makes me happy, but I don't really relate to the people that are my age. How would you restate that?
I'm 23 years old in my physical body, and I am limitless, limitless age-wise, in my spiritual journey. And I am open to connecting with spirits. I think that's what it would sound like.
Okay. It it's so interesting. I have a theory that the Mosaic has taught me, which is our thoughts create our
Mhm.
words become our stories, and our stories create our life.
Mhm.
And if we look at any portion of those and we are not quite clean on where clear, not really clean, but really we're not quite clear, or it doesn't make us happy what the image looks like, we can go back and change any one of those things. So
Mhm.
changing our words, changing our thoughts would change our story.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, and the story that I might create if I were sitting in your shoes right now, not that you have to, but just another possibility, would be I'm 23 years old. I've never really related to people my age, but I enjoy making people happy and doing things that make people happy. And I know exactly what to do now to help people who I've never been able to relate to be able to relate to me, because that's
Mhm.
what makes me happy.
Hmm.
Just an interesting shift, just a suggestion, just because from an old guy in California who sits here and doesn't have much to do but think about things.
I like it though.
Yeah. I thought you might. That's why I imposed it on you. I didn't mean to impose a reality on you. But
Well,
you're
it's just a suggestion.
so often what I see in people, especially people that are spiritual and that are smart, is they create stories for themselves that bind them into a reality that's not really theirs. I'm not
Mhm.
saying that's what you're doing, but that would be an easy story to change. And
Mhm.
I I I would love to see you on the other side of that story. I think it fits your spirit better.
You on the other side too.
Okay, like it. Let's play a little. Uh, this is a lightning round, but I suck at lightning rounds, so it never becomes a lightning round. It always takes a lot longer to do.
Okay.
Um, are you a dog or a cat person?
Dog.
Okay. I know you're into health, so I'm assuming an answer, but I don't want to assume it. Coffee or tea?
Sorry, what or tea?
Coffee or tea?
Oh my gosh. Okay. Decaf coffee and yeah, decaf coffee or if it's not
So I'm losing you on sound. Shia, say it again.
decaf coffee or if I can't get decaf, then get tea.
Okay. Do you think of yourself as a person who's in the box or out of the box?
In the box.
In the box. Wow. That is a total shock. Explain that to me.
I like following traditional rules that I have for myself, and I want to say that I'm more conservative in terms of my options. I want to say I'm just raised more traditional, so like I like going the traditional route. And if there's something new, I'm very cautious of it first. I want to dab my feet in the water and see how it is, and see how it resonates with me. But then otherwise, I'm pretty free.
Wow. I love asking these questions because my natural assumption would have been you would have jumped right into out of the box. So I love hearing that I was, my first impression was not correct.
And how
Um,
boring would it be if I was predictable?
yes, of course. So I know both of these are very important, and people want to answer both to this question often. I want you to think about you in this moment in time, and you can only pick one of the two answers. Which one
Okay.
resonates the most with you right now? Not right now in this room, but right now in your life. Do you think it's important for you to find a platform where you can speak your voice and be heard? Or do you think it's more important for you to create a platform where other people can speak their voice and you can listen to them?
At this point in time, I have something to say. So I want a platform to speak. I
Great.
think I've done a lot of listening up to now. I think that's great. There's always more listening to do, but now's the time to use my voice.
Fabulous. So, having lobbed that over the net, what is it you would like to say?
I would like to say there is so much, I think this will resonate with the right people. There's so much love maybe.
I've lost you. I've lost your picture and I've lost your sound. And it's so interesting how, in a moment where we were going to hear what Linda's voice was, we lost her sound and we lost her picture. She's back now. Let's try it again. What is it you would like to say?
I would like to say that there is so much love and light with me. There's
We're frozen. She's frozen again. So I don't know if you can hear me or if she's just frozen, but very, very interesting way the universe is playing with us, because in this moment, very interesting way the universe is playing with us, because in this moment where Linda was saying to us that it's important for her to find a platform for her to have a voice, and the platform being here, the internet is crashing on us and not allowing her to come through and say it. Shall we try? Maybe the third time's a charm,
maybe
like
the third
showing up.
time's the charm.
Let's try it again.
Okay, there's so much love within you that you are capable of spreading, and there's so much light within you. I just want you to know that you are capable of changing your life and changing the lives of others through that high vibration, instead of through anger or sadness or victimhood. And it's going to be a journey for you to find yourself there, but there is so much you have to give. God doesn't make mistakes. You are not here by mistake. You're not here by mistake.
It came through.
Yes.
I think three. We got to go with the number three. Whatever all the other tests that you've done, three is your
I've been
number.
three. Three is my favorite number too.
Okay, because it took three times for us to connect. It's three times to say your message to come through. So be patient. Always stay with three. Um, love that, and love that message. So, do you feel like you fit into the world? Have you always felt you're a little bit different?
I think up until grade 4, I felt like I fit. And then after that, I didn't. I moved and I had a hard time trying to find myself as I grew up to a new school. I was bullied, I was ostracized. I just couldn't find my footing. I always felt like I was a floating wallpaper. I always felt like I was option B in a group of friends. If I was there, I was there. If I'm not, nobody would notice.
Hmm.
So that was really hard, and sometimes I still struggle to this day. But I also believe that I'm meant for the right people, and the right people will land in my life.
I love how honest you are and how vulnerable you are and how real you are. That's a hard thing to say to a group of people you don't know. And I want to honor you and respect you for saying that. And I want to thank you for saying that.
Thank you.
I want to walk you back to the overhead projector.
Okay.
I want you to take the beautiful third time you said the statement you wanted to say and put that on the first sheet of paper. And I want you to take on the second sheet of plastic paper the story of your life from the fourth grade on.
Mm.
And I want you to tell me what you see.
I see somebody who's hurt, who is lost, doesn't know what's in front of them, cannot see their own light, and stuck in their own darkness. I see somebody who deserves to be loved. I see somebody who is innocent. I see somebody growing a heart, their heart, the heart that I have today. I see somebody who grows the passion that they have today. I see a crying child. I see an angry child. And I see somebody who is starting their awakening journey because of the hurt and the misunderstanding and the fear. Oh, the fear. That's what I see.
For those of you who are listening, I want you to ask yourself, what do you see when you look at Linda? I would be surprised if anyone saw the same thing Linda saw in herself. Because what I see is this beautiful, passionate soul who's had a lot of pain, who's felt a little bit left out, who is in love with the idea of telling people, of sharing with people how much their voice matters and how much they're here for a reason, because it's what she so passionately wants to do herself and believe about herself. I went on a podcast and to speak about my mission, which is listening to other people. And the host of the podcast, who I didn't find to be particularly insightful when I first started, said one of the most insightful things to me in a question that I could ever have gotten. He said, "Why do you have this passion to listen? Did you feel listened to when you were a child?" And I said to him, from my parents, I had a beautiful family. I felt really listened to, but then my parents passed away when I was a kid. And so when I tried to share with my friends what it was like to be without parents, they were kind, they were considerate, they were warm, they were loving to me, but they couldn't relate one iota because they had their parents. They didn't have any idea what I was talking about. And so I didn't feel heard, and he was exactly spot on. When I was at Hay House and I worked with the authors there, and I brought people in and I would help watch them write their books, they thought they were writing the book that the world needed to hear. They were really writing the book that they most needed to read. With the Mosaic, the book that I wrote, it isn't the book that I know, it's the book that I most need to read. So often our passion, our desire, our thought of what we want to say and the message we want to give to the world is really a message to ourselves. And so when I didn't even realize it, but when I asked you if you could live in a world where there was nobody else there, would you be happy? I almost want to say the same thing again. If you could live in a world where there was no one else there and give your message to yourself, what would that do for you?
It would bring me a sense of peace, and I would not need anything else.
Bam. Huge, huge, huge. I told you I suck at lightning rounds. See, we're not going fast, right? Oh, so this is an interesting conversation because Linda is going in and out through her internet connection, and now she's out, and now she's back. Um,
It cut out right after I said it would bring me any sense of peace. I would not need anything else.
and I said,
Just cut me.
I said, bam. How beautiful! How beautiful is that, right? And
Thank goodness.
and so one of the things that I would really invite listeners to listen to here in this sort of tough conversation that we're having, not from the conversation, but from the internet connection. Who are you really speaking to when you're speaking? And who are you really listening to when you're listening?
I guess in a way, I'm really listening to myself and I'm speaking to myself, but I see it in the other girl, and I think that's why speaking and coaching is just so amazing. Is you're able to heal yourself in that process in healing somebody else.
Yeah, love that. Linda, do you feel like you operate from your head or from your heart? Oh no.
I often operate from my head. I find myself often operating from my head, but I'm working on tapping more into my heart. It's been uh, it's been tough because the head likes the butt in. I know that every time I do anything, whether it's sitting or just getting up off of the bed, the heart or the gut first interjects. It's doing an analysis.
Our connection is so bad, and the fact that you've come out and gone in means we have only 8 more minutes left in our conversation. And so I don't know how much this is going to get through because Linda keeps being bumped out. Um, you keep getting bumped out, and so it thinks that we're having 3 and 4 and 5 people in this conversation, and
That is
so we're now limited to 8 minutes and 59 seconds. So let's try and do you consider yourself a leader?
yes, I'm definitely a leader, but I can be a follower as well.
Okay,
I think leaders are the best followers sometimes.
tell me about that.
I think leaders learn only when they're open-minded to best teach themselves, and thus makes them a follower.
I'm unsure as to whether we're going to be able to get much from this because we are going in and out so much that I don't know how the volume's going to last. Um, we'll try more. But
Okay.
do you believe the world speaks to us? Do you believe our bodies speak to us? Do you believe our businesses speak to us? Do you believe um, the environment speaks to us? Just like people speak to us and we listen to people, do you believe if we listen to those things, we would learn something?
Huh. Yes. There's a book I want to read called The Body Keeps the Score. I have not yet read that, but I believe in that. I don't know too much about it enough to speak about it yet. That's something I'm willing to learn and be a follower for.
Huh. Again, your answers are all muddled up. It's hard to hear you. But um, what do you think the world's trying to tell you? Okay, now it says you're in the waiting room. I don't know what the heck is going on here.
I'm also trying to connect with my phone just in case this computer it does not lifetime.
Okay, I think it's going to. I think by the fact that there are too many people in the room, which is you, with too many personalities that you have in the room at the same time, it limits us to 40 minutes. We have about 7 minutes left. Um,
Um,
if
okay, I'm gonna try. Okay, now is it better?
okay, you're on two, so I'm going to mute this person
Yep,
up
that's
here.
fine.
Okay. Um, so I'm sorry. Do you what do you think the world is trying to say to us right now?
Ugh, I don't know. I honestly don't know right now.
Okay. Do you think it has a message for you personally?
Be patient and release the outcome.
Okay. Fabulous. And if you have 6 minutes, we have 6 minutes left. What is it you would like to say to the world in 2 minutes that you haven't said yet? Did I lose you again? Yeah, I lost you. I lost you. So
Okay, we have 5 minutes left.
yes. So in 2 minutes, what would you like to say to the world? Because you have this platform now. If we can do it, you have 2 minutes to say what you'd like to say to the world. Things you haven't said before. What do you really want the world to know that would help it through this time, perhaps?
I would say
Give everybody is going through something. So give everyone a second chance, a third chance, a fourth chance if you really need to. I believe that we all have an inner knowing. And when we're able to tap into love through the fear, through the hatred, through the sadness, we will be able to find that connection, and that we'll be able to spread a lot more light in this world, and we'll be able to spread a lot of love in this world, and to have this compassion to yourself as well. I would just like everybody to know that.
Linda, I want to thank you for persevering through this and and being here.
Likewise.
I want to thank those people who are listening, if you're still listening, for listening through. And I want to ask a personal favor to you, actually, not to Linda, to the people that are listening. Here's a beautiful person who's shown you the full gambit of who she is in this conversation. If you have it in your heart, if you feel drawn by who she is, not because you want to help her or fix her or change her, but maybe you can learn from her. Why not reach out to her? Linda, how would people get in touch with you if they wanted to reach out to you?
They can email me at fittyblog@gmail.com, which is TheFittyblog@gmail.com, or they can follow me on YouTube or Instagram. I'm at TheFitty, so it's TheFitty, and I just love hearing from people, even if it's just, hi, I heard your podcast. That's it. Like, you just make my day. I would probably give you the biggest hug, the biggest virtual hug.
Okay. So will you send me those links, and will you also send me a headshot of yourself so that I can put that on the show? I'm going to post this regardless of how awkward the sound is, because I think what's here is valuable. If there's people that are listening have just felt at any point in time that they just wanted to do a simple act of kindness and make somebody's day, you have that possibility right now in Linda. You have the possibility to just look how simple she is. If you just reach out to her and say hi, it'll make her day. And she'll give you she'll send you a virtual big hug. Why won't you do that for somebody? In this world that we live in, it's time for us to stop being strangers. It's time for us to reach out and listen to people and make strangers our friends. Mm-hmm. And when we make strangers our friends, the world becomes a lot friendlier of a place. Linda, we have 30 seconds left. Is there one last thing you want to say to people? Or one last thing you want to say?
I want to say thank you. I want to thank you for being here. I want to thank you for listening. I want to thank you for listening to my voice, for listening to 50 conversations. I want to thank you for doing everything. This is wonderful. It's an amazing project. I have to do, no matter how much difficulty there is. So I want to thank you for being alive, listeners. I want to thank you for showing up for yourself, no matter how hard of a day you are having today. I want to know that you are absolutely loved. You are loved. You are so loved, whether or not.
Linda, thank you so much for your time. For those of you who listen, for those of you who stayed through this, even despite its difficulties with the sound, I want to thank you for being here with us. And until the next stranger comes, don't be a stranger. Reach out to each other, hold each other, talk to each other, listen to each other, and give each other love, because this world will change as a result of us, one by one, just loving each other. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for doing this. If you enjoyed this crazy podcast conversation, because of its, with all its technical difficulties, share it with a friend. It's worthwhile. Until next stranger comes into the room, thank you so much, and bless you. Ciao.